Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the television shows and then I come over here and I talk about them. And then you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. And then we have a little back and forth, a little conversation about television shows. And for those of you that do not know, I started a new Instagram account associated with this channel. Just go on Instagram and look up Peter Watches TV. And over there, every night on my stories, I am posting what I'm watching and the thumbnails for the videos that I do over here and just anything that I find interesting about new shows that are coming out. So if I see a new show and I'm like, oh, I want to watch this, I post it, giving updates about things that are coming out, new reality TV shows, new shows that are, trending, like The Last of Us is getting ready to come out. So any shows that I'm interested in, I put up on my stories or my posts and things like that. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because often you guys reach out to me with recommendations for TV shows. It's one of the things that I have loved since I started this channel because so many of you have introduced me or told me about shows that I was completely unaware of that were coming out or shows that already existed. I think that in my phone, I have so many different lists that I keep on my phone of TV shows. I keep a weekly list of all my TV shows with, the little dots next to it. And then I check them off or, I mark them when I've watched those shows. So I make sure I keep up. Because people are like, how do you keep up with all your shows? Well, I have a list of like 10 shows that I watch every week. And then once I've watched that show for the night that it comes out, or my husband and I have watched it, then I mark it off. And then I know like, oh, I've got, tonight I can watch whatever else that I want to watch. And then I kind of, in between like the Netflix shows that are trending or the reality shows that are, that I haven't watched before, or true crime documentaries, I kind of put in as filler there. Then I have a list of shows that, goes back, Grey's Anatomy, Yellowstone, Ozark, all these old shows, all the way to new shows that have come out just in the last month or the last year on like Apple. Like I have the new season of Severance on there. I have Sugar on there with Colin Farrell that my friend told me to watch like 8 months ago or something like that. I have all these shows over there on my shows to binge for 2025. I also have on there like Below Deck. I've watched Below Deck Mediterranean, but I've never watched Below Deck all the way through the original. So I have that on there. I've got all these shows I want to binge. I probably on that list, I have probably 40 or 60 shows. And then I also keep a list of shows. I keep a list of all of my watched TV shows for the year. So like dating back to like 2023, I think is when I started that. I have all my watch shows for 2023, all my watch shows for 2024, all my watch shows for 2025. So that if somebody asks me, I can go back and be like, and now I put the date in, so I know when I finish it. I'll be like, oh, what was that show that I finished? So anyway, and then I also keep a list. Well, I love lists. I keep a list of all the true crime that I've ever watched. Every once in a while, somebody will send me they'll be like, have you watched this documentary? And I'm like, oh, I forgot to put, somebody recently reached out to me about Killer Sally. And I was like, I don't think that's on my true crime list, but I watched it. So I went and I added that. But then I also keep a list of all the shows that you guys recommend to me. So when if somebody recommends a show to me, I'll be like, I'm adding it to my list. So then I'll go in and I'll watch the trailer for it. And sometimes it's like either the binge list or that list that I pick the newest show that I'm going to watch from. Well, recently, a couple people recommended to me the show Ghosts. Now, I think it's on ABC Paramount. There are two different versions of Ghosts. There's a UK version, which I believe was the original version. And then there is the US version, which I think they're very, very similar storylines. I haven't watched any of the UK version. I will tell you that when I am caught up with the US version, I'm about halfway through it right now. When I'm caught up with the US version, I am going to go watch the UK version because it has been, I think the last time I fell in love with a show like this was probably Schitt's Creek. And there's something about it, like when I compare it to Schitt's Creek, people are like, is it really like that? It is and it isn't. It's completely different. I don't know how to explain it. It's the feelings that the show gives me are very similar to Schitt's Creek in that it's hilarious, but it's also very, very endearing. And so it gives me the same feelings that Schitt's Creek gave me when I originally watched Schitt's Creek, which I was kind of like late to the game. Everybody that I knew, my husband had already watched it. My husband and I actually, we watch like episodes of Schitt's Creek now. We just continue to watch it over and over and over again. So, if we don't have anything else to watch, we'll watch like 2 or 3 episodes of Schitt's Creek. I'm trying to get him to watch Ghosts, but he said he has to finish Suits first. So anyway, so people were reaching out to me about Ghosts, the US version. And I was like, I looked at the trailer and I was like, I do not like sitcoms, okay? I mean, there's only a few sitcoms in my life that I've ever really liked. And I'm like, I don't like sitcoms. This story looks stupid to me. Yes, I'm interested in paranormal, but not jokey paranormal. And this just looks dumb. So let me tell you the concept of the show. Okay, the concept of the show is that this couple from Manhattan, their names are Samantha, she goes by Sam, and Jay, they're married. They move to, like, I think it's upstate New York, like out in the country, because Sam's, I believe it's her great aunt, passes away, and she's like the only family member left to like leave this house to, this mansion in the middle of nowhere. So Samantha wants to like move there, Sam wants to move there and turn it into a B&B. Jay doesn't really want to that badly, but Sam really wants to move out there and turn it into a bed and breakfast. So they end up moving out there, okay? It's very like, they compare it a lot to the show Newhart back in the day, which was actually the spinoff of, what was the something show, the Bob Newhart show, which was the spinoff. Newhart was the spinoff of that. So they kind of compare the early episodes, they compare themselves to that of like running a B&B. So while they're there, there's all these ghosts that have died on the property. So you learn a lot of rules about the ghosts. I'm not going to spoil the show for you, okay? But you learn a lot of rules. Like a ghost can only go as far as like the property that they're on. So like if they die in the property, they can't leave the property. They're like stuck there forever. And so there are several ghosts that are at this house. There's like this hippie named Flower, and she was killed because she tried to hug a bear after she was like at a music festival. And so since she was high at the time that she died, she's like always high. And then there's like this Native American guy, and he's like in love with this woman that's like stuck at this other place where she died. And then there is this woman that's like Sam's, it would be like her great grandmother or something that like originally lived in the house. And I believe her name was Hetty. I can't remember right now. Anyway, and then there's Trevor, who is this guy that's like frat boy turned kind of like Wall Street finance guy, and he died with no pants on, so he has like a shirt and tie on and no pants on and socks. And then there was this guy that was like good father, travel agent, his name's Pete, and he was like taking this Girl Scout troop out there, and he got shot in the head with an arrow because he was teaching them archery. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny in the context of the show. And so he has like this arrow through his neck, like the whole show. And then who else is on the show? Why can't I think? Oh, there's this like jazz singer. She's fantastic. And she was murdered on the property. And so they're constantly trying to figure out like who murdered her. She's trying to figure it out. And then there's also this guy that's like a Viking, and his name is Thor. And so, and he talks like this. He's like, Thor no like this and stuff like that. So anyway, it's all these ghosts around there. I feel like I'm missing one of the ghosts. But anyway, there's all these ghosts that are around there. And they're all different, but they've lived there for like a certain amount of times together, right? Since like the last one. I think the newest one that passed was Trevor. I think the guy that's like this frat boy and all this kind of stuff. And so he's like the newest one that's died. So Sam falls down the stairs, and when she falls down the stairs, she like almost like has like a near-death experience and then comes back. And so she can now speak and see the ghosts, but Jay, her husband, can't. So like every episode is something completely different. Like the first season's all about them like getting the house ready for the bed and breakfast. But, like, each episode has something to do with the ghosts as well. Like, either, like, something from the past about the ghosts, like, they're, like, how they died came up, or them meeting, like, a new ghost, or whatever. And it's just fantastic. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's funny because once I started watching it, people are like, oh, the UK version is so much better. I'm like, how could the UK version? I mean, this is so good. The thing about it is, it's so entirely cheesy and stupid, but it absolutely works. Like, some of the lines are so hilarious. I mean, I watch it like late at night, and I just sit in the chair downstairs when my husband's asleep, and I just howl. It always like brings me a lot of peace and serenity. I don't know why. It just makes me feel so calm when I watch it. And there's like these really hilarious things because like a lot of the ghosts are a lot older, so they don't know a lot of the terminology that like we would use today. And so like for example, but like the guy that died last, Trevor, the Wall Street frat boy guy with no pants, he like knows the terms because he died like in the late 80s or early, I think in the early 90s, he passed away. So he knows the terms. And so like the ghosts, like if they get taken to like heaven, like if they like, so to get taken to heaven, they have to like, whatever's holding them back, they have to like work through. And so Trevor, like he knows the words, but anyway, so the other ghosts call it getting sucked off. And so when Sam hears it for the first time, she says something, and Trevor looks looks at her and goes, I don't have a whole lot. He's like, I don't have anything here. Just let me laugh at this. And so it's like, it's constant, these like one-liners that are so stupid. It's totally not a show that I would like, but I am just in love with this show. And for those of you that have never watched or didn't know it about it like I did, I wanted to bring it to your attention. It is currently on the 4th season. I think it got renewed for a 5th season. On Paramount, where I watch it, it's literally listed in the top 10 shows every single week. I mean, this is like next to Survivor, Amazing Race, Reacher. I mean, it is constantly on the top 10. So I must not be the only one that loves this show. It's so endearing. The ghosts are hilarious. Their stories are hilarious. Why can I not? The jazz singer, her name starts with an A. Why can I not remember her name? She is so beautiful, so fantastic. And there's this guy that comes there, and he, like, is, like, this super fan of hers, and he has, like, a tattoo of her, and she is so hilarious. Oh, they all have ghost powers, too. Like, so there's one, oh my God, that's the one I forgot, was Isaac. Isaac was the one that I forgot. So he died, like, in the American Revolution. And so he's constantly talking about Hamilton, and he's pissed that Hamilton got his own musical and stuff like that. And so he died of, like, dysentery, and so when he walks through, like, a human, they, like, smell like this horrible smell. Like, Thor can, mess with the lights. Like, Alberta, that's her name, Alberta. She can, like, when she sings, like, they can hear it, like a ghost, like, singing or humming. So anyway, what's the guy's name? Chad. I think his name was Chad or something. She's like, oh, Chad. And he, like, he's, like, telling Sam, he's like, I have this, like, special thing that I, like, bought online. It's Alberta's toenail. She's, like, so embarrassed. The show is so wonderfully written. And so, for anybody out there that haven't watched it, if you're looking for a good show to binge, it's kind of my in-between show. Like, if I'm watching, like, a true crime show, I'll watch, like, 3 episodes of it, and then before I go to bed, I'll watch, like, an episode or 2 of Ghost, because it kind of relaxes me. So, I'm like 2/3 of the way through season 2. I think I'm on episode 14 or 15. There's 22 episodes. So I still have to finish season 2, and then I have season 3 and season 4. I'm very excited about it. I just wanted to bring it to anybody's attention that hasn't seen it. So let me know if you're watching in the comment section below. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.